Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gage Berdovich. We're live once again on YouTube. Gage, we're ready to do the Week 7 pick'ems after a good Week 6 for both of our teams. Hasn't happened a lot this year so far, but here we are. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, my team putting up 30-plus points. I didn't expect that. Last time I saw that was with Mason Rudolph last year, and that was the only time I saw that last year. I don't think it'll happen again. It's kind of like the Madden curse. It happens once, and then you're done. The Bengals, on the other hand, they won, but it was not good looking still. Joe Burrow was the leading rusher. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Joe Burrow had the big, nice run to begin the game, and that was it. And then the Bengals, people were like, yeah, the Bengals defense, they looked a lot better. They're playing the Giants. I mean, come on. I mean, they're going to look better. B.J. Hill coming back did help that run defense up the middle right there. He makes a difference for them. But still, there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done on both sides of the ball now. That offense should have done a whole lot more the other day. But, at least we didn't put up 32 points and change our quarterback.
You just had to go there, didn't you? Just had to go there. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm at a loss for words. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields both taking reps with the first team. I agree with it, just because if Fields gets hurt or if Wilson gets hurt, you could just swap in the other one, and it's like they've been taking reps all week with the first team. But the more they talk about, the more it sounds like Russ is going to be the starter this week. I don't get it. Fields has led the team to a 4-2 record, 10 total touchdowns, 1 interception, lots of rushing yards, lots of passing yards. I don't get it. I don't understand. The defense is holding it together, I know, but you can't put old man Wilson back there behind an offensive line where Broderick Jones is your right tackle, moves up 1 yard and just lets Max Crosby just go right by him. And Fields is like, oh, got to get out of here. Russ ain't going to be able to do that. I don't think he has the escapability that he used to. So I don't know what's going on. It's Sunday Night Football, and we got to worry about Davante Adams again.
Yeah, I was going to say, and Davante Adams, who all of a sudden, is healed magically from his hamstring injury. Somebody put that meme of Kevin Nash in a wheelchair with the leg up in a cast. And they're like, Davante Adams, as soon as he goes to the Jets, he takes off that blanket, and all of a sudden he just pops right up. That's kind of like Davante Adams there, since he got traded. He's just looking for a way out, and he got it back with the Rodgers.
He definitely got what he wanted. Maybe Rodgers took him on one of those, darkness retreats a little bit. Maybe gave him
ayahuasca
hearing stuff,
Yeah.
And
Flat Earth stuff.
Yeah. Just all of a sudden healthy, ready to go, and for a second week in a row, Steelers got to prepare for him. 1 week he didn't play. This week he's probably gonna.
Oh yeah, they say that he should be able to play, and it'll be the Steelers and the New York Packers the New York Packers going against each other this weekend. It should be fun.
The Packers must be the Jets must be where Packers players go to die, go to end their career. Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard, Brett Favre, they're all just going to the Jets at the end of their career because they know, the Jets suck. We kind of suck now. Why not? We're a perfect fit for each other.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and make all the money from them, have them pay us, and, whatever. Win our careers here. Yeah, why not?
I don't get it. I'm so upset about that. And then same day, 5 hours later, Amari Cooper gets traded to Buffalo.
To the Bills, yep.
I'm happy about that. 2 reasons. We don't got to worry about him now in our division. Actually, 3 reasons. That, it gives Deshaun Watson literally no one to throw to now. And he's on my fantasy team. So, talking earlier, I lost Rashid Shaheed. Gee, shocker, I lost someone in fantasy. So, Amari Cooper fantasy value to the moon right now.
And, that's good for me because the Bengals Sunday, they face the Browns. Amari Cooper traded, so we ain't got to worry about that. But Nick Chubb is expected to be back for the Browns on Sunday. That's what I'm kind of worried about, that running game right there. Because the Bengals haven't been good against the run this year. And you bring Nick Chubb back, now he may, have to work his way back in. He may not be, he may be on a snap count or something. But I'm glad Cooper's gone at least this week for us.
Yeah, if you stop the run game and the Browns have to pass, I don't even know who their number one is right now. I could not tell you.
Is Peoples-Jones still there? I don't know.
I
don't think he is.
Uh-oh.
I think so. Njoku, would that be your number one target now? I don't know.
Probably, man. I know
signed...
you said... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, have they signed Odell Beckham, but I'm pretty sure Miami has.
I think Miami, yeah. So,
yeah.
I literally don't know. The only one that's coming to mind is David Brown, or was it David Bell?
David Bell, yeah. But, former Reds manager David Bell, yeah.
I feel like they cut him. This offseason. So, if you look, so it's Jerry Jeudy. I forgot they did.
Jerry Jeudy. Boy, you talk about somebody's career dying.
But it's hilarious. If you go to the Cleveland Browns website and look at their depth chart, the top position, wide receiver, first string, it's blank. There is no one in it. That is awesome.
That QBR for Deshaun Watson's only going to go from here, and it's already historically low.
Yeah. I don't know why they're sticking with him. He's off to a 1-5 start. He's playing horribly. The only reason I could think he would stick with him is because of his contract.
That's exactly why.
I mean, I know a lot of Cleveland fans are saying, get him out of here, get him out of here. I saw a thing the other day, I think it was from Sport Track, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it was the breakdown of Watson's contract and the cap value, dead cap, if they cut him. For the next, 3 years, if they cut him, it's around $100 million in dead cap. So it's 2029, I think, is when the Browns get released from their trash that they've made. And that just sounds very Cleveland-like. It really does, and I love it.
Me too. I am going to love it for years to come, apparently, because they can't do anything with him. It's great.
It's awesome.
So last week, week 6, in our picks, I went 11-2 in our picks. Looky there. Bringing my overall total up from where I was 500 last week to 48-39. Yeah, there we go. Gage, you went 10-3 last week. Your overall record 57-30 now.
Which is crazy. Is I know exactly what the one game difference, and that was picking the freaking Panthers to win.
Yes, that's it. You picked the Panthers. I stayed away from that one. But we both.
The first 3 quarters of that game, though, it was very close.
It was. The Jets also let us down on Monday night. We both went with the Jets, and but maybe the Jets will rebound this week.
Let's hope not.
Oh, man. So this week coming up, week 7, here we go. Right now, we have a great game going on for Thursday night. The Denver Broncos are at 6-0 over the New Orleans Saints, led by a Mahomesian-like Spencer Rattler, as somebody once said on this podcast, maybe before we recorded, but yes, there was a comparison to Mahomes with that there.
I mean, he has a similar facial structure, similar hairstyle. He just does not play like Mahomes. There was a play a little bit ago. Luckily for them, Denver was called offsides, but it was a low snap between Rattler's legs. He's scrambling to pick it up, picks it up. Defender hits him. The ball goes flying backwards, and Denver scoops and scores. But they got called offsides. I'm like, you are so lucky. And there's a flag there.
So, the Saints, what are they doing? Do they have the minor league squad out there? I mean, is this they're calling these guys up from AAA? Who are some of these guys out there receiving,
Yeah, Olave out, Shaheed out. Who is the number one? Is it Bum Means? The Pittsburgh product? Is it Bum Means? I hope so. I don't want to jinx it, right? But I may or may not have dropped Shaheed from my fantasy team and picked up Bum Means. So, hey, well, 5 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown last week in his debut. I don't know who else there is. Michael Tipton, yeah. Juwan Johnson, okay. Alvin Kamara, there's only so much that guy can do.
Foster Moreau.
Yeah, Moreau, for whatever reason, seems to be more likable than Juwan Johnson to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, and Bub Means, he's going to have probably a broken toe by the end of the game as well to go along with those stats you rolled off there since he's on your fantasy team. So I'm sure, it's the Mariners.
He has 1 catch right now, I think, maybe more. I don't know. But it'll probably by the end of the game, he'll end up on IR. The team might actually place him on season-ending IR before the game is done, just because that seems to be the way that I'm rolling right now.
Well, I mean, before Williams just ran that play for 20 yards, Bo Nix was the leading rusher in this game with 35 yards. So, I mean, if that tells you anything about how this game is going, woof.
Bo Nix has also missed like 3-4 passes. There's one, it was 3rd and 1, play action, and he just threw it short of his tight end who had literally nobody around him. There was a play earlier, I think it was the first drive of the game. He over and under threw receivers. There was a high and a low level concept, and the ball landed in between the two. Again, nobody around them, so it's like, wow, okay.
So we're like, okay, this Thursday night game is, so we're like, hey, can't wait till Sunday. We're going to kick it off good, and we start at 9:30 with the New England Patriots traveling to London to face the Jacksonville Jaguars in the London games. Jacksonville's a 6-point favorite. Gage, I mean, we're going from bad to worse maybe on these football games, man.
I think the Jaguars should just stay over in London. It seems to be their home away from home right now. I gotta wonder, like, these back-to-back weeks of London games, they didn't come back over to the States, right? Like, they stayed over there. Like,
yeah, they stayed.
I couldn't imagine going back and forth week to week. That would be awful. 6-point favorites kind of surprised me, just because Jacksonville's been awful. Tank Bigsby last week, awful. Travis Etienne last week, awful. Who was the leading rusher? Dearness Johnson. Anybody know that name? We do, because he was at Cleveland for a little bit.
Brown.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Receivers, again, they're just not good. This is not a good football team. Drake May played actually pretty well last week. Tossed 3 touchdowns. Didn't look good in the first half, but the second half really started to pick it up. He had like 30 and 40-yard touchdown passes. I'm surprised it's a 6-point spread. I'm going to go early. I'm going to go with the underdog pick. Give me the Patriots, and, of course, with that, they cover.
So, like you said last week, the Patriots with Drake May, he played pretty decent. I mean, he still doesn't have that line to, kind of block for him out there. But Ramondre Stevenson should help him out there a little bit. But, there's just not a lot in New England. Jacksonville, on the other hand, they've got some guys, but they just haven't put it together, haven't been able to put it together. You have that game you had last week against in London, and you're playing in London again. The Bears just demolished Jacksonville in London. I've got a feeling that if they wasn't playing in London again, Doug Peterson was going to be, flying on a separate flight back to the U.S. And I think that this time, he's going to be flying back home without the team again. Give me the Patriots on an upset as well. And, of course, they cover this. But I like New England in this one. I like the way Drake May and them, he's kind of getting going here a little bit, his first start last week. And that defense is not good. So I like New England here in this one. So let's go ahead early. Off the board, London. Upset. Let's go.
That might be the first upset pick we both agree on this season.
It might be, and it's early too. I mean, we never go that early on both of us upset picks.
No.
Yeah. Then we go to the 1 o'clock matchups. The Seattle Seahawks travel to Atlanta to face the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is a 3-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this one here?
This feels kind of like a simple pick to me a little bit. Last week, the Falcons finally getting Bijan going again with 2 touchdowns on the ground. And on the Seahawks side of the ball, their offensive line has been horrible. Poor Geno Smith. I mean, the guy's been through everything. He's also another one that's been through the Jets. He's been with several other teams. But the offensive line, you see, like if you see the rankings of offensive lines this season, like they've allowed like 17 hurries, 16 pressures, other teams in the league. Seattle's by far the worst one in that category, as they've had over 30 pressures allowed to Geno Smith this season. Poor guy's running for his life. He has no time to really think. They've been kind of in some trouble recently, it feels like. I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think they cover. It's probably going to be like a 10-point game, I would say.
Yeah, like you said, the Falcons finally last week got Bijan going. It took him 6 weeks, but they finally got him going. Kirk Cousins coming off of that 500-yard game a couple of games ago. Seattle last week, they played pretty good against the 49ers, put up some offensive points. I think this is going to be a shootout right here. I just think that, both these offenses can put up some points. But like you said, they can't block, for Geno very long, and that's where they struggle. That's where they have struggled. But man, is Drake London playing for the Falcons? I believe he went out last week. He had he was having a pretty good game, but I don't know if he's playing or not this week.
I would say he is. There's nothing looking right now that would tell me he's not. So I'm going to say he is.
And then let's see, Kyle Pitts. They've got Kyle Pitts going finally a little bit. I mean, he's really played really well this season. I don't know if it's a Kirk Cousins thing or what. Maybe it's a, Arthur Smith thing. Give me the Falcons in this one too. I like them. I like them to cover. At home. But I think it's going to be high scoring. The over-under is 51.5, and I think that's that high for a reason. I don't know if it's going to go over that, but I do like Atlanta to cover the spread and for a lot of points to be scored.
And talking about is it a Kirk Cousins thing? I don't know if it's an Arthur Smith thing necessarily when their quarterbacks have been Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ridder. And it's not really looking out for a good time there.
That's a very fair point right there. I guess I need to take into consideration who he had throwing to him there too. And it's hard to get going when they can't get the ball to you. So
absolutely.
The next 1 o'clock matchup, the 1-4 Tennessee Titans travel up to Buffalo to face the Buffalo Bills, who are 4-2. Buffalo is a 9-point favorite in this one. Gage, what do you think about this one? Buffalo coming off of that win on Monday night against the Jets.
Yeah, Buffalo taking down the New York the New York Jets. And, it was a good game. 23-20 is the final. They picked off Rodgers 3 times. So the defense is playing actually pretty well right now when they started out kind of iffy at the beginning of the season. Going against a Titans team that is just awful. Tajay Spears, I believe, got hurt, if I do remember correctly. DeAndre Hopkins, there's talks of him getting traded. This team is in complete shambles. I'm going to go with the Bills. Give me the Bills. Give me the points. Enough said about that one.
Yeah, Tennessee is just, dumpster fire. Tony Pollard has played really good, though, the past few weeks. He's kind of got going a little bit. Will Levis still hasn't got going. I don't think Will Levis is going to get going. DeAndre Hopkins, like you say, he's probably going to get traded. Tyler Boyd's playing there. I bet he's regretting leaving Cincinnati to go play for Tennessee because of how horrible they are. I mean, the Bengals are only one game better, but they're more fun. I mean, they feel like a better team. I mean, they still feel like they can contend. The Titans don't feel like they're going to contend.
No.
The Bills, on the other hand, they played a really good game last week against the Jets. Like you said, on defense, Damar Hamlin, like what a story. The guy was everywhere out there.
Yeah.
Like it was awesome to see too. I mean, every time there was like a defensive play, seemed like number 3 was out there. And, from him coming back from the dead to where he is now, I mean, it's just, it's awesome to see. But I think the Bills are going to win this game too. And I think that they'll cover. I mean, 9 points is a lot. But it's one of those games where the Bills, like they were at the first of the year, they were playing these teams that weren't as good, and they just kind of pound them and give them a, pretty good little beat down. It's not going to be very close because the Titans aren't a very good team, obviously. So I'm taking the Bills.
And Titans Kirsty just released Jamal Adams today. So, hey, they're going all in on getting rid of everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be a fire sale here, I think, before the trade deadline, maybe. Oh,
yeah.
Man. The next 1 o'clock matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns. Cincinnati's a 5.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do you think about this Battle of Ohio? The most prestigious cup in the state of Ohio.
The Ohio Cup. This feels like it's going to be a typical AFC North matchup. I mean, if it was the Steelers and Ravens, you would expect the Ravens to put up a lot of points and dominate the Steelers. It feels like it's kind of going to be this way again. There's not going to be a lot of points put up, although both defenses are not that good. But one offense may be just a little bit better than the other. And that offense may be the Bengals being better than the Browns. We talked about Browns don't really have any weapons. David Njoku, okay. Jerry Jeudy, I mean, he has not done what he did in Denver. And I think the other one's Elijah Moore. Enough said, they have nobody. Nick Chubb, he's not going to be 100%. The guy's coming off of one of the more gruesome injuries in NFL history. I don't even know how he can possibly be back playing football. Besides, he's a super freak. They're going to try and get that run game going, but when since he's able to stop it and throw up a lot of points, they're going to have to turn to that passing game, and it's just not going to work out for him. Give me the Bengals and give me the points.
So Cincinnati last week, like we said, they played a little bit better on defense. B.J. Hill, I think, made a difference there. And Sheldon Rankins came back and played too up the middle. So, I mean, you have your original 4 guys that you thought you were going to have at the beginning of the year. Makes a little bit of a difference. I mean, not everybody's going to run completely all over you. It kind of worried me a little bit when I was like, oh, man, Chubb is coming back. But, like you said, I mean, one of the, gruesome injury, like, it's going to be hard to come back his very first week and come out there and run all over Cincinnati. Maybe next week if we ran into him, maybe he's back to the Nick Chubb of old, just plowing over people and everything. But, I don't think it's going to happen. The offense for the Bengals, I think, is going to play a little bit better. Cleveland's not got a bad defense. I mean, they really don't. But they have nothing on offense. I mean, you've got the worst QBR in NFL history through the first 6 weeks in Deshaun Watson. And, of course, he's playing. You just traded away your best wide receiver, Amari Cooper. You've got Jerry Judge Judy, who nobody even remembers that he plays there. I mean, we had to look it up. Give me the Bengals in this one, and I like them to cover that spread because, I mean, it's going to be a battle. But I think Cincinnati's going to end up winning by about a touchdown or maybe even 10 points in this one because I just don't think that Cleveland's got anything on offense to hang with the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Steelers don't play at 1 o'clock, so I'm going to have a lot of options for games to watch. But the Cleveland-Cincy game definitely is probably not going to be one. I don't think it's going to be anywhere close to a shootout. Cincy should go and just run right over Cleveland.
They should, but they also should have against the Giants last week too. And well, yeah,
that's very true.
The next 1 o'clock matchup. Now, this one here could be the 1 o'clock matchup game that you watch, or there's another one coming up too here in a minute. But this one here, The 5-1 Houston Texans travel to Green Bay to face the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is a 2.5-point favorite. What do you think about this one, Gage?
Yeah, this probably match of the week. Two high-powered offenses, two defenses that I think are kind of underrated. The Packers, they have a player who has an interception in every game this season, I believe, so far.
The X-Man.
Yeah, so it's like C.J. Stroud last week didn't play his best game of the season. They almost let the Patriots come back in that game, but Joe Mixon, great game for him. If only another team had Mixon. You know, receivers around. They didn't have Nico Collins. Collins was on IR. They did pretty good, but not what we expected against the Patriots defense that was one of the worst in the NFL against wide receivers. Packers side of the ball, Romeo Doubs, gets suspended from the team for a week, comes back, has 2 touchdown catches in a game. Apparently complaining on some teams actually does work. I don't know. I think, man, this one's a hard one to choose. It's probably the hardest one of the season. What did you say the spread was again?
2.5 for the Packers.
2.5 for the Packers, man. Oh. Let's roll with the Pack. Give me the Packers on this one. Give me the points.
So the Packers, playing at home here against Houston. Houston, like you said last week, Joe Mixon, they got him back and going. A couple of touchdowns early. Houston's played pretty good for most of the season. Their one loss was against an NFC North team in Minnesota, and that was a beatdown.
Yeah.
Absolute beatdown. Green Bay, they've had a couple of losses there, but they've played pretty good here lately. Like you said, Romeo Doubs, hey, you can miss practice, you can be late, you can get suspended. And when you come back, it's no big deal. You're going to get 2 touchdowns, whatever. Jaden Reed, he's pretty electric out there.
Yeah.
They got Josh Jacobs too, who's playing decent, but and Jordan Love, he's still playing pretty good ball so far.
Yeah.
I like the Packers in this one as well as they're the favorites. I was going to say the home dogs, but they're not. I like them, and I like for Houston's record against the NFC North to continue to be an over so far in this young season. But give me the Packers in this one at home. Cheeseheads. The next matchup, this one may be the one you watch. I don't know. 1:00. The Miami Dolphins travel to Indy to face the Indianapolis Colts. Indy's a 3-point favorite. Gage, who you liking this matchup here?
That was not the game I thought you were going to go to next. Usually I would ask, is it Anthony Richardson or is it Joe Flacco this week? I don't think that's going to matter. Miami's offense has just been stalling. Raheem Mostert, first game back from injury, had a pretty good game last time. But besides from that, your quarterback play has been awful. Receiver play, you have a top receiving core in the NFL in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and you can't get them the ball. I don't know what's going on. I don't think it matters. JT, Jonathan Taylor, might be out. I think he's questionable right now. But give me the Colts. Give me the points. And this is up there for worst game of the week.
Yeah, this is matching like tonight's game, the London game, as a contender for worst of the week for sure. Like you said, the Dolphins haven't been able to get anything going on offense. The quarterback, is it still Tyrod Taylor? Nope, not Tyrod. Snoop Hundley. Skylar Thompson. Yeah, does it really matter? Because if it's not Tua, they're not playing the same offense. It's, I don't get Odell Beckham Jr. That's another wide receiver they picked up. Like, that's going to help. Like, yeah, we need another wide receiver that's not going to be able to get a ball from a quarterback that can't throw to him. Makes a lot of sense. On the other hand, the Colts, I mean, they haven't been great. They've been decent. Flacco's been serviceable. He's played okay. I don't think it matters this week how he plays. I mean, if he plays just completely horrible, but the Colts are going to win this game, I think, because Miami's offense is just that bad. But give me the Colts in this one, and I think they'll cover that too. So, yeah. Ooh. The next matchup now. Maybe we're getting somewhere with one of the best games of the week right here. Maybe this is one you tune into, Gage. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to New Jersey to face the New York Giants. Philly's a 3-point favorite. Gage, you like your in-state rivals here?
I feel like you know what game I expect you to say. You're just pivoting away from it. I almost want to do my underdog sleeper pick of the week. But it is a division matchup. It is a team in Philly that they've gotten A.J. Brown back, and they proved it last week. You got a touchdown. You still got Saquon. Your defense should be a pretty good defense. And there's no way after the Giants' performance last week I can go with the Giants. So give me Philly. Give me the points. I don't want Philly to win because they're the in-state rival, but I got to go with them. Give me the Eagles.
The Giants last week looked awful, offensively especially. Defensively, they played pretty good. They played pretty good against the Bengals. Philly, on the other hand, A.J. Brown back. That's a big plus for them. Also, your coach is out there cussing out your own fans, so I don't know how well that is. But, I don't know how far that's going to get you. But, it was Cleveland last week. I think Philly's going to win this one too. I just think that A.J. Brown's going to be a big difference in this game for them. And if they're going to do anything, he's got to be healthy. You get Devonta Smith and all that come back. You got Saquon. Give me Philly in this one. But, if your coach is going to cuss out the fans, what are we doing here, right? Like, does that work ever?
I don't know, but cussing out the fans and getting a brand new haircut, it really did not suit Sirianni well at all last week.
Yeah, like, you just beat Cleveland, and you're like, yeah, look what we just did. And it's like, it's Cleveland. Calm down, okay? It's Deshaun Watson. We don't need to get that silly.
Like, good job. You beat up by 4 points. Congrats.
Yeah. Oh, the next 1 o'clock matchup, the final 1 o'clock matchup. Gage, I think maybe this is what you've been waiting on for your 1 o'clock game, maybe. The Detroit Lions at 4-1 travel to Minnesota to face the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite at home. Gage, what do you think about this NFC North matchup?
Also, again, gotta be a great game. Vikings coming into this game undefeated. Lions coming off a big win against Dallas, 47-9. But of course, you give a little something, you got to take a little something. Yeah. Losing who probably would have been the defensive player of the year in Aiden Hutchinson, the guy may never play football again with how bad that injury was. Or if he does play football, it is not going to be the same caliber. What he's been doing. The Lions offensive wise, though, they got up so big, they were lining their offensive lineman up at receiver. They gave a lateral to, who was it?
Penny Sewell.
Penny Sewell, yeah. To where I wish he would have scored on that. Because that just would have been awesome. It got called back for a flag. So,
illegal man
unfortunately. Yeah. How ironic is that? Yeah. Man. Do the Vikings take their first loss this season? I think they do. The way the Lions offense played last week, even their defense, Brian Branch, incredible. Defensive player of the week in the NFL. I know you lost touch. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Sam Darnold's got to be Sam Darnold. Again, another Jets player. But he's got to revert to the Sam Darnold that we all know and love, and his team ghost again. So give me the Lions. Give me the points.
The magical start to the season for Minnesota is over after this week. I'm going to take the Lions in this one too. Dan Skipper is the other lineman that lined out. Lined out at wide receiver. That's how much fun they were having in beating those Dallas Cowboys last week. Like, they could do no wrong in that game other than what went wrong on defense, which was the awful Hutchinson injury that's just going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah.
If you're Detroit, though, do you make some phone calls to some teams like, hey, Jets, you've had Hassan Reddick all year. What do you want for him? He's obviously not going to play for you. What would you want to take for him? Hey, Browns, is Myles Garrett available? What can we do here to make something work? Hey, Pittsburgh, would you mind trading TJ Watt? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But Raiders, is Max Crosby available? Some of these teams that are that's got some beast defensive ends, maybe they make a phone call to that. I mean, it's not obviously, Hutchinson's young, like you said, working towards Defensive Player of the Year, most likely, if he kept it up like he was. But, it's just a really bad injury for him. I don't think it's going to hurt him in the long run if they can get somebody to – but, I mean – offensively, they still have weapons everywhere, and Jared Goff is pretty good in that system. Minnesota, like I said, their magical run's going to end this week, and the Lions are going to tie for first in the division after that one. So, but it's going to be a good game because I think that it's going to be really, really competitive. That's probably going to be your best 1:00 game there, Gage. So you can choose that one since Pittsburgh doesn't play until later.
My roommate's a Detroit Lions fan, so I might have no choice not to watch that game anyway.
There we go. Be a Lions fan for the day. The 4:00 slate has only 3 games this week. Yikes. The first one, the Vegas Raiders travel to L.A. to face the L.A. Rams. The Rams are a 7-point favorite in this one. Gage, who you like in this one? I don't know who's starting quarterback for the Raiders this week. I don't think it even matters.
I don't think they know. However, the underdog sleeper pick of the week is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh,
now, you may ask, why is that? Frankly, it's because I looked at the schedule, and there's really no one else I would rather pick for an underdog sleeper of the week pick. But the Rams, they got Kyren Williams going for them. Touchdown machine. They don't really have anything else. Puka still hurt. Cooper Kupp, he's finally running routes again, but there's no way he's going to be healthy. Matt Stafford coming into this game is questionable. I don't know what's hurting him. I think it's his back. That may also just be old man syndrome. I don't really know. Raiders side, you just traded away Devontae Adams, who he's kind of been a cancer a little bit to the team. Like you mentioned, his hamstring magically healed. Was he really hurt? I don't think so. So you're going to have whoever, Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew throwing the ball, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers. Probably 2-3 years, he's going to be the number 1 tight end in the NFL. Even if he stays on the Raiders, and that's saying something.
Yes.
Defensive-wise, you still got Max Crosby because you haven't traded him away. They have a couple other key pieces. Robert Spillane, former Steeler. I can see this team winning this week against a very depleted Rams team. Give me the Raiders. Give me the underdog in this one.
Ooh, the Rams coming off of a bye week. You said Stafford may have old man syndrome. There's a lot of gray in that beard nowadays. There was before. And like you said, they're depleted. They got Kyren Williams. He's been going. Would that mean Jimmy G would be the quarterback if Stafford doesn't go this week?
Is he the one that's the backup? I didn't know.
I believe he is on the team. I don't know if he's the backup. But he's on that team. He's getting a paycheck, I'm pretty sure. Unless he's on the Chargers. I don't think he's on the Chargers. I'm pretty sure it's the Rams.
It is Jimmy G. It is Jimmy Garoppolo, and behind him is Stetson Bennett. So I highly doubt Bennett would get the ball. Yeah.
Stetson meant the fourth. Yeah. But you mentioned Brock Bowers on the other side. Man, he was a stud in college, and he's going to be one in the NFL too. And he's played pretty well so far this year. Is this a situation where you think that the Raiders, after getting rid of Devontae Adams, kind of like getting rid of their head coach last year, McDaniels, and they come out and they have like a huge game for Pierce, and he ends up winning the job because of that? Is that kind of where you're thinking that's going this week with the Raiders in that one?
A little bit. I think, like McDaniels last year, it's just getting rid of that main piece that's kind of felt like it's been holding your team back the past couple weeks. They went out, they beat the Ravens, and then ever since then they fell apart. Ironically, I want to say the Ravens game was the last game Adams played in. So I don't know.
I think so.
And that may also not be true at all, and I may have just said that and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But it feels that way because Adams has been out for a couple of weeks. Again, he flies to New York, joins Aaron Rodgers, and all of a sudden he's going to play this week? There had to be animosity going on. And I think, just like last year, they're going to come out and be like, oh, you should have stayed with us.
That's like after which loss was it? One of the losses that the Raiders had here recently, and Antonio Pierce said some players made some business decisions. He said, and we'll go forward and we'll make some business decisions. Kind of thinking maybe he was talking about Devontae Adams. I don't know, but it's looking like that. But give me the Rams in this one. I think that they win, but I think the Raiders will cover this one, but I'm taking the Rams. I'm not jumping out on a limb yet. I mean, they're kind of a dumpster fire over in Vegas right now, but you know.
Come on, you don't want to join me on the underdog train for this one?
No, I'm not taking the Road Dogs in this one. No, you didn't know. The next one. Your Carolina Panthers travel to Maryland to face the Washington Commanders. Washington is an 8-point favorite. The over-under in this one, Gage, is 51.5 as well. Who you like in this matchup?
What is it, 51.5, but Washington scores 40 of that? Because I know I picked Carolina last week as the upset pick, and it was close for the first 75% of the game. Yeah. And then Atlanta pulled away a little bit more and pulled away a little bit more, and the Panthers just stalled. Ever since Andy Dalton's taken over, this team's not been doing too bad offensive-wise, but still their defense is horrible. You got rid of your only real good player in Brian Burns this offseason. You got rid of Dante Jackson in Pittsburgh, who's proven to be a pretty good corner in that scheme. So I can't go Carolina. Jaden Daniels has been – I would not be surprised if Jaden Daniels is Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. I know Caleb Williams is putting up pretty good numbers, but Daniels has been doing it since week 2. Give me the Commanders. Give me the points. It should be a blowout in favor of Washington.
So Washington's – I think the reason why this spread's 51.5, Washington's defense isn't really all that good. I mean, they've given up plenty of points too. Like last week, they gave up a lot. But it was the Ravens. They give up a lot too. They can score too. I mean, they put up a lot of points. So that offense is really good. I mean, the Bengals game, like nobody played defense. Nobody punted. Nobody wanted to punt. And it's like, that's the kind of football I want right there. All offense, you know. Yeah. But I think that and the Panthers, on the other hand, since Andy Dalton's come aboard, they've put up a few points here and there. I mean, it's a lot different offense than when Bryce Young was out there getting killed, holding on to the ball too long. You know, and like you said, Jaden Daniels is probably the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think that's going to happen because he's done it longer, like you said. Caleb Williams done it the last few weeks. He's done it longer. I think he'll continue to do it. And this Sunday, he's definitely going to continue to do it. Give me the Commanders in this one and give me the points on that one. I think that Washington blows them out. But I think the over's going to hit in this one. I think that the Panthers will put up some points, but, you know, not enough to be close.
They'll put up like 21 points, and then Washington will just carry the rest of that over.
Yeah, basically. The 425, the big national broadcast game of the week. Tom Brady on the call. The undefeated Kansas City Chiefs travel out to San Fran to face the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco is a 2-point favorite in this one at home. Gage, what do you think about this matchup here?
I'll be interested to see first if Tom Brady will be on the call. He just got approved yesterday as minority owner of the Raiders, and there's a lot of stipulations that come with that. Like, I think the one was you're not allowed to be in like pregame broadcast meetings or something like that. So, will he be on the call? I don't know. I hope he is. I've actually loved what Brady's been doing, which is weird to say because I hated him in football, but I love him now. So it should be a good one for that. On the field, though, the Niners, the Chiefs, you got Mahomes, you got Kelsey. Those two, past couple games, they're finally starting to put it together a little bit. Juju Smith-Schuster, the most random 100-yard game of the season the last time the Chiefs were on the field. He's probably slid into the number one role. Without Rashee Rice, what else do you got? I mean, you got, what's his name, Justin Watson, I believe it is, who's out there. He can catch the balls. Sky Moore. Xavier Worthy's good for about 150-plus yard touchdown a game, yes. And that's about it. He'll get 2 or 3 catches and be good. Sky Moore, like I said, he can catch a couple, but it's hard when you don't have a lot of playmakers right now. Other side of the ball, the Niners, you got Ayuk, you got Deebo, George Kittle. Still don't know about Jordan Mason. He's questionable as far as I know. He's projected to get points in fantasy, but they also proved last week that it doesn't matter who's up running back. It could be McCaffrey, it could be Mason, it could be Isaac Guerrero. They're all just going to put up numbers for whatever reason. This offensive line seems to be one of the best in the NFL at making holes for the running backs. Quarterback play, Brock Purdy's felt a little iffy. He has not been the dominant Purdy that he was last year. And I think a good portion of that has to do with not having McCaffrey. You have Mason, you have Guerrero, that's great, but teams, I don't think, are respecting those two running backs like they would with McCaffrey, making it a little bit harder. They also lining up Deebo in the backfield. And that's also some ways that they're gonna try and pull out a lot. The defense for the Niners, they got what can be arguably now the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, Fred Warner. It feels like he's done a forced fumble every game. He's making tackles for losses. He's got a couple sacks to his name. I think that defense is going to outpower the Chiefs' offense. Now, the rest might come in and give the Chiefs the win. Always hope that doesn't happen. Give me the Niners and give me the points in this game.
I thought you were going to go Chiefs on this one here for sure. Mason's questionable. He was a limited participant in practice on Thursday. So, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you could plug anybody into that running back spot back there. Deebo really doesn't do a whole lot when he's running back. I don't feel like. I mean, not straight runs. He doesn't. Yeah. But, he's more passing out of the backfield or, playing receiver. That's his best spot. But somehow they like to dot the I with Deebo and get 2 yards. I don't get it. The Chiefs, like you said, Kelsey and Mahomes has got it going here the last couple of weeks. I think that'll continue here. I think that they'll continue to hook up. Rashee Rice injury is big for them. They've got, you mentioned some of the wide receivers they had. Running back, Carson Steele back there running back now. He's played okay. Then you got, former Bengal Samaje Perine. He's pretty good catching the ball out of the backfield and stuff. San Francisco, I think, I was going to go with the Niners in this game, but since you went with them, my underdog pick of the week, I am going to go – no, I'm just kidding. I'm going with the Niners too. I just think the Chiefs have too much injuries here to go into San Fran. San Fran has lost some games they shouldn't have this year. They've got everybody playing now except for McCaffrey and now / Jordan Mason, but we've seen that really that doesn't make a whole bunch of a difference. I think Ayuk's going to have a big game this week. His first big time game of the year, I think, happens this week against the Chiefs. Give me San Francisco, and I think that they cover that spread.
And then one running back, did forget to mention, because I completely forgot, he signed with the team, Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt, yeah. He
last game was his first game, over 100 yards and a touchdown, but they force-fed him the ball. He had 23 carries, so they only averaged about 3 per pop. If the Niners hone in on that run game, and then hone in on that run game, double-team Kelsey, you should be good to go.
This is not your normal Kansas City Chiefs team under Andy Reid. They're a running team and a defensive team this year. It's a whole lot different setup than it usually is. The Sunday night matchup, the New York Jets travel to Pittsburgh to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. New York is a 2-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do you think about this Sunday night matchup with Russell Wilson, starting quarterback for your Pittsburgh Steelers?
I absolutely hate it. The only thing I like with Russ in there is that he won't look to run right away. That's kind of felt like the trend with Justin Fields throughout his entire career, even in college. If the first read's not open, I'm going to try and take off.
Go. Yeah.
Now, that's worked out quite a bit. He has 5 rushing touchdowns on the year. So, I don't know what Russ brings that they're seeing like, oh, this offensive line's terrible. But we're going to start Russ because, he can still move. He's got an arm. He's going to try and get at the Pickens. With Arthur Smith, they're going to include Freiermuth a lot. Najee, coming off his first big game of the season, 14 carries, 104 yards, and a touchdown. One of them touchdowns being literally from 5 yards out when he went airborne after making a couple people miss. I almost want to take the Jets. I almost called them the Packers. I want to take the Jets just because it's Russell Wilson starting. I don't know if I'm going to go a single game this year where I go against the Steelers. Maybe a couple towards the end because they got a hard schedule. Give me the Steelers. It's prime time. It's in Pittsburgh. The defense is going to be what carries them. Rodgers, very susceptible right now to interceptions. He's thrown, 5 or 6 already this season, and he has a chance. He's on the pace right now to have the most interceptions in a season in his career. He came in just over 100. He might end the season at over 120. Give me the Steelers. Give me the points. But I am not looking forward to this at all.
What a wonderful Sunday night matchup we have this week. The new-look New York Jets. Last week, they actually got Breece Hall involved in their game, running and receiving. Hey, where was this? Oh, wait, maybe it was Robert Saleh. I don't know. Maybe not. Rodgers, threw a few picks in that game, not his best, of course, but they were in that. Is there any better quarterback than getting the free play? Like drawing somebody off sides and running a free play than Aaron Rodgers. Also, is there anybody better at end of games or end of half Hail Marys than Aaron Rodgers? It's amazing. Also, he had another throw that went underneath the guy's armpit on the defender, right into Lazard's chest right there. And I'm like, dude, he still got it sometimes. Sometimes it's like, man, nobody else can make that throw right there. I mean, right in there. But and on the other side, Pittsburgh. You played a great game last week. I mean, they were awesome last week against the Raiders, putting up 32 points. Fields plays pretty good. Like you said, he's like, hey, my read's not open. I'm gone, which works out sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Most times it does. Why go to Russell Wilson at this point in time? Why do that? Why throw that off? What are we doing here? I don't know, man.
I don't know. I would rather keep the quarterback, go find another receiver. The Steelers, I think I mentioned it last week, statistically have the least amount of yardage of separation of the receivers and defensive backs. Why is that? Maybe it's because George Pickens is getting doubled, and then you have to worry, Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin. Oh my gosh, they're going to just destroy us. Oh no. Why not go trade? I know Buffalo gave the Browns like a third-round pick for Amari Cooper. Offer him a second. At this point, I don't care. Get another receiver in there. I wanted Devontae. Had a feeling that wasn't going to happen. And now I know the Jets are looking to trade Mike Williams because of Rodgers saying he ran the wrong route. I don't want Mike Williams. He has a $10 or $10, I wish, $10 million contract this season. And the Steelers only have like 11, a little over 11 in cap. Why do I have a feeling they're going to go out and trade for Mike Williams and be like, oh, this is it. He's going to fix the offense. Because he ain't. His time in L.A., he was like a piece of glass. You hit him too hard, he's going to be out for 4 or 5 weeks. Get a receiver. I can't take it. And this is coming off a 32-point offensive showing, but a lot of that was because of the defense. Picked off O'Connell a couple times, got to him once in a sack. A lot of forced fumbles from T.J. Watt. The one, I'm trying to remember what it was, Dante Jackson, I believe it was, picked off O'Connell and got it down to like the 5-yard line. I was like, oh, get in. And then it's like, oh, the offense is hopefully going to score. And once you know it, in one play, they score. It was actually probably the best play call of the entire season on Arthur Smith's part. It was a fake pitch to the left. Fields just keeps it to the right and runs it in almost untouched. In that situation, great play call. But did your offense really do that? You had a 7-yard drive. Congratulations. Go get a receiver. That's all I got to say. Still sticking with the Steelers. It's just frustrating to watch this team.
And I'm going with the road dogs in this one. Actually, the road favorites, not the road dogs. Give me the Jets. I just think Davante Adams, he's not going to get he's going to play a little bit. But, him and Rodgers still got that chemistry from back in the Green Bay days. That hamstring is going to look perfectly fine out there this week. Lazard's played good. He's going to get the ball. Is he still going to get the ball to Wilson like he has been with Adams out there? Because, Wilson's played pretty good. They've had some, good games here recently. But is that going to throw it off when he comes in? It's like, Rodgers like, oh, look, it's like your old girlfriend comes back in town right here. And it's like, oh, why are you bringing her in here? You're already with your wife over here with Garrett Wilson, but you're like, you know what? The girlfriend wants to come in as well now as Davante Adams, and it's like, is that going to cause some issues? I would think it may, because Wilson, I believe, thinks he's the number one. And Adams is going to come in thinking, hey, I'm number one. Me and this guy used to have good times. And, but I think that they'll win this week. Give me the Jets in this one, and I think that they'll cover that. It's going to be about a field goal game. It's going to be close because your defense is going to keep it close. And I don't know how dangerous Wilson is going to fare in his first game with the Steelers.
If the Steelers do win this one, I want to watch Wilson's press conference after the game because it's been, Broncos country, let's ride. What's he gonna say for Pittsburgh? Steelers Nation, let's weld. I don't know what's gonna be going on here, but I hope they win one because my team. But also, I just want to hear what Russ has to say afterwards.
He's gonna say, "Here we go."
That's boring, though.
Russell Wilson is very boring kind of character. The Monday night games, we've got a doubleheader. The first one, the Baltimore Ravens travel to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baltimore's a 3.5-point favorite in this one. Gage, what do you think about our AFC North rivals in this game here?
I think for primetime games, this will probably be the best one of the week. Both offenses have been awesome. Buccaneers just coming off 50-plus points. The Ravens took down the Commanders. Defensive-wise, it almost feels like Tampa Bay has the better defense. I know they let up, 27 points to the Saints, but they got out to a 14-0 lead early on in the game because of turnovers. I forget who it was that fumbled. I think it was Olave. I think that's why he was out with concussion this week. Fumbled it after the catch, and Antoine Winfield running it in for his first career touchdown. Literally, I don't think anyone knew the ball was live besides for him, but it turned out 14 points. They picked off Rattler a couple times. So, as much as, oh God, I don't know. I know the hatred on this show for Tampa Bay. I also know the hatred on this show for the Ravens.
Yes.
So I really don't know where to go here. I think I'm going to go with the Bucs. The offense, Baker's been cooking. I know he also had a couple picks last week. Not the type of game that we are used to seeing from Baker. But Chris Godwin, 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans getting involved a little bit. But that running game also, Sean Tucker, first NFL start, over 100 yards, couple touchdowns. I don't know what the status of Rachaad White is for this week, but why not ride the hot hand? Why not let Sean Tucker take it away? And I think he's going to do it. The Ravens defense, not that good this year. Give me the Bucs. Give me the points.
Yeah, you mentioned Sean Tucker having a great game last week. They also have Bucky Irving back there too, at running back. But Tampa Bay last week put up a whole bunch of points, and I picked Tampa Bay last week for once. I put that hatred aside because of the hurricane and all that. But it's back this week. It's back. This is going to be the worst game of the week. I can't stand either one of these teams. I notice you're wearing your Ravens purple, so I'm surprised that you went against the Ravens in this one. Man, the Bucs offense, man, has looked great most of the season. Aside from that Denver game, they have really exploded. Like, their offensive coordinator was Kentucky's offensive coordinator last week, and Kentucky can't beat Vandy on the football field, and they're struggling to score points, but yet he's in Tampa Bay putting up 51 against NFL teams. Tell me how that – yeah. With that being said, the Ravens have played pretty good lately on offense. They've looked pretty good. Neither defense has played that great. This is going to be high scoring. I'm going to take, as much as I hate to take this team because I can't stand this team either, give me the Ravens in this one. I think that the Ravens will win. And I think that they'll cover that spread. The over-under's 49 and we're under than the other games.
Wow.
But I think that they'll go over in this one. I think this is going to be an offensive explosion. Leave your defenses at home. This is going to be a weak spot for the Ravens later on in the season is that defense. Somebody's going to have a high-powered offense that's going to play a little bit of defense, and Lamar's going to make a mistake, and the Ravens are going to lose in the playoffs because of that defense, I believe. But for this game, give me the Ravens. And I think that they cover. And the finale of the week, the 9 o'clock game on ESPN Plus, the LA Chargers travel to Arizona to face the Arizona Cardinals. Chargers are a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this West Coast matchup?
Oh, well, 2.5-point favorite for the Chargers is surprising, considering they haven't been the best this year. They are coming off, beating Denver, but it's Denver. I know it's a division rival, but still, it's not a good team. Running-wise, J.K. Dobbins, he had the first 2 games of the season, over 100 yards, few touchdowns, and since then has quieted down quite a bit. He might pick it up a little bit this week against a very bad Cardinals defense. But the Cardinals, I know I praise them, I feel like, every week on here. They got Kyler. Marvin Harrison Jr., I think he has, 3 touchdowns on the season, and 2 of them are from 1 game. Outside of that, they have not been using him. Trey McBride. I mentioned earlier Brock Bowers, probably best tight end in the league here in a couple years. Like, Brad's going to be up there with him. He's on a very bad team, and right now, for whatever reason, is their number one pass catcher. I don't think it's going to be enough between the offense not really being that good and the defense not really being that good. I think Justin Herbert's going to go and have a rookie year Herbert masterpiece. Lab McConkey, 2 touchdowns. Outside of that, Quentin Johnston, I can see him going over 100 yards and just putting up a showing against Arizona. So give me the Chargers in this one. Give me the points. And I think it's going to be one of those underrated games of the week.
Well, this is the finale of the week this week, so maybe it'll go off pretty good. I'd say most people's going to be watching the Ravens and the Tampa Bay Bucks for sure, especially this one being on ESPN Plus. Some people still don't have ESPN Plus, but the Cardinals, like you said, as Harrison, is he hurt? Did he play last week? Or I'm not sure. They haven't really targeted him a whole lot.
I want to say he came out of the game early.
Which, last year when he was in college, he wasn't targeted a whole lot either, which is, why Kyle McCord ended up transferring from Ohio State, because you had the best receiver in college and you couldn't hit him. But I think that Arizona, like Kyler Murray, like I said, Call of Duty still hasn't come out yet. So I think he's going to play okay. The Chargers, man, they've got Herbert. Like you said, he's going to return into rookie Herbert this week. Maybe. He hasn't yet. I don't think Harbaugh wants him to become rookie Herbert. I think he just wants him to kind of manage the game and run the ball, play some defense, and get out of there. But I like the home team in this one. Give me the Cardinals to win this game. I think that they'll cover because they're the underdog.
Okay.
So give me the Cardinals.
I was going to say, update, Marvin Harrison Jr., limited today in practice, still remains in concussion protocol. I don't know what the chances of him clearing concussion protocol are by Sunday. So right now I'd say doubtful.
That still don't change my pick. I think I'll take the Cardinals anyway in this one. Give me the home team. The bye week teams this week are the Chicago Bears, coming off of that big win in London, and the Dallas Cowboys. Well deserved for the Cowboys after last week's beatdown at the Lions. And Jerry Jones going off on radio hosts.
Yeah, it was so great. A beatdown of the Cowboys on Jerry Jones's birthday. I mean, what more could we ask for?
They were saying, like, Jerry Jones is like, we need to blow out the candles. They're like, no, we're going to blow out the Cowboys. That's what's going to happen this week. And that's what happened. Rough
game for the Cowboys. Let's see here. What else do we got? Other sports news. Guardians walk off Yankees with a David Fry walk-off home run in extra innings. So, listen, a 2-1 series lead for New York.
Yeah. 2-1 for New York, and is the Mets and the Dodgers? They're in Game 4 right now. Is it still?
Yeah, Game 4. No, not even close. It is 5-2 Dodgers in the bottom of the fifth. Let's see. We have had an Ohtani home run. He led off the game with it. But bottom of the first, New York kind of came back a little bit. Vientos had a home run. And in the third inning, it kind of fell apart. Tommy Edman, 2-run double, and Enrique Hernandez with an infield single RBI. But bottom of the third, Brandon Nimmo grounding into fielder's choice, scoring 1 run. And then just, a classic Mookie Betts double for a 2-run RBI is how that game is where they're at.
The potential Subway Series is slowly slipping away.
A Subway Series and the World Series would be awesome, but it definitely does not look like that's going to happen. Jose Quintana started for the Mets. The typical Quintana outing, 5 earned. On the other side, Yamamoto, 4 innings so far, 2 earned, 7 punch outs.
Man, that's That's a good start so far. 4 innings and 7 punch outs already. I mean, man. But I was hoping the Dodgers would not win this series here.
I was too. I'm very disappointed.
Buy that championship.
If it's Dodgers Yankees, that is going to be probably the most money ever put into a World Series ever.
Yeah, and it's looking like that's probably the way it's going to be, unless Cleveland can come back and pull it off. But I don't think the Mets are. If they're, I don't know, maybe they'll pull off one tonight and even the series. Hopefully.
No, they still got 4 innings to go.
I think you need to get Yamamoto out, I think, though.
Yeah, I closed out of it, so I can't see what his pitch count is at, but I can't suspect that they want to use him a lot. Like, they probably want to keep that pitch count down since he was hurt majority of the season and save him for later on.
Right. There's always a possibility of just throwing Shohei out there. I don't, he can pitch.
Wouldn't surprise me. And at this point, would they say I was a position player pitching or as a pitcher pitching? I have no idea.
So they have taken Yamamoto out and put Phillips in.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe get some runs off of this guy.
Yamamoto went 4 and
Man. And then a little NFL update. Broncos are up 16-3. I think they're just outside the red zone, but none of the receivers can catch a jump ball, so they might settle for another field goal. And if you have either, well, not really the Saints kicker, but if you have the Broncos kicker on your fantasy team, you're getting a lot of points from them tonight.
What a great Thursday night game. I mean, I feel like we say this almost every Thursday night, middle ways of the season, like that. Like, hey, the first one's great. Super Bowl reigning champions against a great team from the other conference or same conference. And then it's like next week, hey, okay, it's not bad. It's like the Texans and the Cowboys. That's cool. And then next it's like, oh, boy, we got the Panthers and the Broncos. What do we do to deserve this?
Like, I'm so glad I paid for Amazon Prime. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Boy, so glad. It's so worth it. I can't wait till they put games on Sundays.
I can't wait till Netflix starts showing games like they already are this year.
Yeah, Christmas Day. You may know a team playing that day.
Yeah, and I don't have Netflix, so I may hold off on buying it just because the Chiefs are playing in it along with, some other team.
Yeah, right,
And I don't want to ruin Christmas, so.
Let's ride. Well, that'll do it for the podcast this week. Week 7. Hopefully we can stay hot like we did last week and roll back in here on week 8 next week. And, we'll see y'all next week.
Later.
There we go. Did you stop?